Hello everyone, my name is Loko and welcome to a new video. In general, people seem to agree that video games are really bad for you. You know, I mean, us gamers don't think that, but you know, normal people. They think that video games, you know, they don't teach anything, they will obviously be bad for you, everything will go to hell as soon as you start playing more than like 2 hours a day of video games. Now, I strongly disagree with that, so in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about 5 things that video games actually taught me, and more specifically about StarCraft 2. Now, StarCraft 2 is one of these games that is incredibly hard to master, if not impossible to master, and I played this game, I don't even know how many hours anymore, but I played it an absolute ton. Now, there's a whole lot of things you can learn from games, but these are the 5 that I've selected for now. If I missed any important ones, please let me know right below that like button in the comment section, and I would love to read your suggestions. So first and foremost, one that is very specific to StarCraft 2 is that hard work gets rewarded. Now, in real life, it's kind of hard to actually like track progress and whatnot, because obviously, you know, when you go to school or you work or whatever, the time just goes by and the weeks go by and whatnot, and you don't really realize whether or not you've made progress. However, in StarCraft 2, it's very easy to figure out how well you've been doing and how well you've been playing. In general, it is very quickly very obvious that the more time you invest into a certain task, the better you will become at that one task. In StarCraft 2, it is obvious because you go up in ranks, you can actually see how well you're, you know, competing versus your opponents. But in real life, it's exactly the same. If you spend a lot of time in something, it will obviously get better, it will obviously improve, and that's one of the main things that I have definitely learned from playing years and years of video games. Number 2, it's actually a little bit of a people kind of skill, but in general, people are kind of mean. Especially in video games, you will notice very quickly that people will never ever blame themselves, even though it's very obvious that they were at the mistake. In StarCraft 2, for example, people actually rage because they've been losing and they will blame everything but themselves. Oftentimes people will search for a reason while they are actually at a mistake. So that actually means they will either like blame something like balance, which is very obvious in StarCraft 2, they will blame time, they will blame other people, they will blame everything but themselves. And this is one of these things that I have learned in StarCraft. Oftentimes, you're actually, you know, you're actually the problem and not something else, not some sort of balance, but you're actually the one that should improve. Number 3, focus. And I think this is one of the most important things. Oftentimes what happens is that you spend a ton of time on things that are actually really not that important when you think about it later on. Usually, at least I've realized that I spend about 80% of my time doing things that are not important and about 20% of the time on things that are actually valuable in the near future. Now, the same thing goes for StarCraft 2. If you're gonna, you know, spend a ton of time on spreading your creep and perfecting that while your queen injects are lacking, you really should prioritize your focus. If you actually manage to do that in real life as well, you manage to focus on only the task that you are either paid to do or the task that you actually are rewarded for, you will obviously start making a ton more progress if you spend your time efficiently. And that actually brings me to number 4 as well, which is finish what you started. This is actually one of these things that is very obvious in StarCraft 2. You can't just launch a game and actually, you know, walk away in the middle of it. That's just not gonna happen. You need to sit down and actually focus for the entire duration of the game. Now, this is obviously true for real life as well. What I used to do a ton is actually just sit down, do like 10 minutes of work, and then, you know, do something else for like 10 minutes and then eventually get back to work. Nowadays, I can actually get shit done a lot easier. I just sit down, focus on one task, and do it until it's finished for hours up on end. And that is something that I definitely could not do before playing StarCraft 2. And number 5, which is arguably the most important one, I pretty much lack the ability to rage nowadays. Before I actually started playing StarCraft 2, I used to get mad quite often about little things, but nowadays I realize in the grand scheme of things, it's really no big deal. If you actually manage to, you know, control the rage that you get in StarCraft 2 when you lose or, you know, you start blaming others, if you manage to start controlling that, it will actually help in every single aspect of life, obviously. If you don't rage and you actually manage to stay calm in most situations, it will help you out and it will make you a much happier person. If I missed any important ones, let me know right below that like button. Other than that, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and I will see you in the next video.